In the long history of aviation, thousands of flights have vanished without explanation. Lost signals, failed systems, pilots who disappeared mid-air. But there's one case that stands apart from all others. A case that seems to break the laws of time itself. This is the story of TransOcean Flight 703, the passenger jet that vanished in 1984 and mysteriously returned 30 years later. June 17th, 1984. Buenos Aires International Airport. Flight 703 was scheduled for a routine journey to Madrid, Spain. On board, 61 passengers, 7 crew members. Among them, families, business travelers, and a small group of researchers heading to a conference in Europe. The captain, Ernesto Valdez, was an experienced pilot with over 12,000 flight hours. Weather conditions? Clear. Visibility excellent. Nothing unusual, at least, at first. At 10:42 a.m., Flight 703 took off smoothly. 2 hours later, while flying over the South Atlantic, radio contact suddenly dropped. Controllers in Dakar and Lisbon attempted to reach the crew, no response. Within minutes, the aircraft's radar signature vanished entirely. Search and rescue teams scoured the ocean for weeks. No wreckage, no debris, not even an oil slick. Eventually, investigators concluded the plane must have crashed into the sea. The official record read simply, "Presumed lost cause unknown." Decades passed. The families of the victims moved on, or tried to. But for some, the mystery never faded. Every few years, someone claimed to have heard strange radio transmissions, ghostly signals repeating TransOcean 703 in faint static. Then, on September 9th, 2014, 30 years after the disappearance, air traffic controllers in Sao Paulo picked up an unidentified aircraft approaching from the Atlantic. The transponder code was valid, but outdated, decades out of use. The call sign read, TransOcean 703. The plane was requesting permission to land, reporting minor navigation issues. The voice on the radio sounded calm, human, but strangely distorted, as if coming through layers of interference. When the aircraft descended, emergency crews were waiting. As the landing lights cut through the fog, they saw an old TransOcean livery. The same paint scheme retired in the late 1980 seconds. The plane touched down perfectly. Engines functional. Landing gear intact. When the doors opened, airport officials expected wreckage survivors. Instead, they found 68 confused but healthy people. Their clothes, hairstyles, luggage, all from the early 1980 seconds. One passenger asked why everyone was wearing such strange phones. Another wanted to call her husband, who had died 20 years earlier. The cabin smelled of coffee and warm food. Instruments inside showed the date, June 17th, 1984. Every clock on board had stopped at 10:45 a.m. Yet the passengers insisted they'd been in the air for just 7 hours. Within hours, military authorities surrounded the airfield. The passengers were transported to a secure medical facility for quarantine. The aircraft was towed into a restricted hangar for inspection. Scientists from multiple countries were brought in, physicists, radiation experts, even astronomers. They discovered something alarming. High traces of cosmic radiation embedded in the fuselage, the kind only found outside Earth's magnetic shield. Even stranger, onboard instruments recorded reversed magnetic polarity, and the flight's black box contained a 3-minute section of audio filled with deep static and inverted frequencies. Sound patterns that, when analyzed, displayed geometric shapes. Some claimed it resembled a signal. Theories began to spread. Was Flight 703 caught in a temporal anomaly, a loop in space-time? Or was it part of a Cold War experiment gone wrong? A leaked report suggested that one of the scientists on board Dr. Martin Rojas had been working on a project involving high-frequency electromagnetic propulsion. Some believe his experimental device interfered with the aircraft systems, opening a spatial corridor a tier in reality itself. But none of it could be proven. Within weeks, every passenger and crew member was transferred to undisclosed locations. Families were told they were being reintegrated under observation. And then silence. On October 2nd, 2014, less than a month later, the hangar storing Flight 703 was found empty. Security footage showed nothing unusual. The plane had simply vanished again. The guards reported a brief power outage around 3:17 a.m. When lights returned, the aircraft was gone. No transport logs. No aerial footage. It was as if the jet had never existed. To this day, Flight 703 remains one of the most classified cases in aviation history. Official records were sealed under international security agreements. Some say the passengers are alive, living in isolation, studied by governments. Others claim the second disappearance wasn't physical at all, but dimensional, the aircraft returning to the same fold in time from which it came. One leaked audio clip, allegedly from an investigator, contains a single phrase whispered through static. "They didn't come back alone." Whether myth or reality, the case of Flight 703 forces us to question what we know about time and how fragile our connection to reality might truly be. Because if a plane can vanish for 30 years and return unchanged, then maybe, just maybe, time isn't a straight line after all.